And welcome back. So, Chris, this had ended off in the last video with Gavin asking you, what were your thoughts? So, what were your thoughts?
In honesty, I found it very difficult to follow what Gav was saying, but
just your thoughts on the idea of,
in general,
you know, we've got the central job board, and of course we're looking at it from a human point of view, so we're seeing it as something that obviously is all networked across major cities and outposts, perhaps even to our homes out on our own land. Now, with the Elythians, how would you picture it?
Well, mechanically, the system will have to be pretty much the same, in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But well, the thing about the Elythians is that you don't have the communication systems that humans have in the same way. You do have, well, presumably we're going to give them some sort of telepathy, some sort of possibly some sort of fast travel system based on sort of opening portals between two places and things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in terms of hub movement, you're going to be able to travel between hubs quite quickly, or send information from hubs quite quickly. So you might have a similar system, but have it based more in the central cities than it is sort of for a human. It could be quite easy just to pop on your iPhone and check the job board, but for an Elythian you might have to go to the central city and view all of the incoming and outgoing sort of jobs in the hub cities.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see why the systems can't be very similar,
Mm-hmm.
with a different reason behind them. And also you can get humans sort of asking an Elythian, are there any jobs? And you can get an Elythian buying an iPad and checking out the human job board. So
Heck yeah.
Are you envisaging something, because just listening to you talk about it there, the thing that immediately sprang to mind were the Spice pilots in June. I can't remember what the word is for them. The idea that rather than Elythians in general having telepathic abilities, it being a certain, it's an effect that it has on certain Elythians who can use that for, it's almost like the telecommunications industry on Elythia would be, you would go to a telegraph office where there's banks of people waiting to transmit messages.
It could
something
be
like that.
Telepathically.
Well, you could also treat it as a simple set of skills, which really could mechanically reflect directly from one race to the other. For instance, let's say you're a human who's just starting out with what we'll just call baseline skills over everything, and you can't go, just hop on your mobile device, mobile device X, and access the central job board because you haven't trained up on, say, some sort of remote communication skill or mobile communications. At the same time, the Elythians could have something fairly similar, which could be, like distance communications, and that could actually be based off of a device too. They could have some, more magic-based device. It's just a sphere that you hold in your hand that allows you to, think and interact with some other plane of reality. And it's the exact same mechanic, but it's just applied in a slightly different cosmetic spectrum.
Go ahead, Nelson. I heard the grunt.
No, just this is a bit. Well, this does directly correlate to what you're talking about, but isn't a direct. Anyway, basically, it's in my head. It's just going back to what is the difference between Elythians and humans, aside from aesthetic. I mean, we're talking about basically where we have to either spend a lot of time creating these really, really balanced systems that differ, or we have to make the exact same systems with different things.
But I really don't think that picking one of those solutions or the other has to be the hard and fast rule. I think there are a lot of aspects where the gameplay, the game design, the mechanics can differ wildly and still end up being balanced. But in terms of developing and leveling up your character, that seems like such a fundamental thing that it will be very important to make sure that they are very balanced and that somebody who knows how to level up one type of character generally knows how to level up the other as well. It makes it a lot easier for us to make sure that there is balance between the two systems.
I mean, I don't know about everyone else, but I have in mind the fact that a starting character, irrespective of race or class or anything like that we apply from an external point of view, can make pretty much any choice they want from the start of the game. As soon as they start making choices, that changes how the game plays for them.
Sure.
But
I completely agree.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So everyone basically starts from the same point with different paint,
But
if you know what I mean.
the Elythians, if you start up as an Elythian, you should have different. Oh, I'm going to totally butcher this word.
Go for it.
I don't even know how to start. You have different dispositions.
Dispositions.
Yes, to certain paths, more so than humans.
Yeah, and that's why you pick a particular. That's one of the reasons why you pick
So
a
it's
particular
not
race.
exactly a blank slate, though, because that would defeat the purpose of the entire racial doohickeys in the first place.
No, I'm not talking about the writing of the quests or the plot. I'm basically talking about mechanically. You have a series of things you can do, and irrespective of whatever race you pick, you will run through very similar style, the same sort of level content to get you familiar with the game. How you get missions, quests, whatever you want to call them, how you go by land, how you craft things. Basically, a tutorial that isn't a tutorial. It's the first 2 levels or whatever, and that should impart the same information, irregardless of what choices you make. But it can feel very different if you understand what I'm saying.
And it should. I think this is what I was getting at the other day with. I can't remember if it was on video or not, but the idea that as a human arriving on Elythia, you might be, you when you first start the game, you choose human, and your intro movie is coming into land on Elythia to the human-controlled immigration zone. And the first, 10 levels of play will take you. You'll only really come into contact with other humans, for the most part, and and you'll be very much in a safe area, central human area, and work your way from there out into the rest of Elythia. Whereas if you start the game and choose Elythian, you'll come into the game on a farm, maybe in the Elythian countryside, and you will spend the first same amount of levels doing the same, like Chris said, tutorial style stuff, but presented in a game form, but coming from a completely different place. It's very straightforward at the level of tutorial levels to impart the same information in a completely different way, because the information is quite straightforward. It's press WASD and so forth.
Yeah, I think majority of games do that already.
Yeah, getting back to the point at hand, you can start the game with a central job board, whether it is a physical job board that you go up to and go, there are these jobs in this town, or you go to an Elythian and go, you are the telecommunications Elythian, and you tell me what jobs there are, or you look at your mobile device and pick jobs off the job board. Effectively, as long as you gain access to the same levels, sort of same level stuff and the same amount of stuff, it doesn't matter, because you can go in 5 or 6 levels, go to the nearest human settlement, buy a mobile device, or go to the nearest Elythian settlement and get them to teach you how to use their telecommunication.
Right.
It's the start that matters in terms of restrictions, in my mind.
Okay. Sure. If there's anything else, now's a good time to say it, NATO, because I'll bring this video to a close here if you're done with your thought, and then in the next one, I'll let Zach go ahead and start sketching out the things that he's got written down for us to begin discussion on, specifically with the central job board itself. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and bring this video to a close, and we will pick back up in the next one. Thanks a lot.